Hey guys, it's Rosey here. Today we're going to be talking about one of my all-time favorite superfoods. It's something that I've been consuming for many years, and it's one of the best things ever. Here it is, Spirulina, also known as blue-green algae. So we'll go over some of the health benefits. I'll try and go over it quickly. There are so many health benefits, but we'll try to run through it as quickly as we can. And then at the end, I'll give you one of my favorite recipes, or maybe a couple. We'll see how it goes. First off, I always like talking about the benefits of protein found in spirulina. There's a ton of bioavailable proteins in spirulina. So when people think of protein, they usually think of a meat source. This is one of the best vegetarian sources of protein, and it's also easily digestible and bioavailable, meaning that it'll be absorbed and utilized in your body in a very efficient manner. So, great source of protein. It's also really rich in manganese and magnesium, which are often lost in our foods, or they have been lost in our foods over the past 50 to 100 years. Generally because of conventional farming. Conventional farming has kind of stripped the lands of nutrients, and so the fruits will then grow up to be a little bit nutrient dense than they would have been on organic lands. So we need to basically replenish the foods that we're having. That's why supplements are good, but we can get into why this is better, spirulina is better, because supplements generally they come in a pill form. If we need to supplement our diets today, that's just the way it is. We do, unless you're eating 100% organic whole foods, then that's fine. I'm sure you're getting a lot of nutrients and you feel healthy and you feel good and you feel energized, then that's great. If not, then I think it's really good to supplement our diets. And this is one of the best because it doesn't come in a capsule form, and it isn't made in a lab. If it comes in a capsule form, it's generally a lot harder for our bodies to digest. And if it's made in a lab and it doesn't have the exact proportions that nature creates for our bodies to balance out all of the nutrients, this is nature made, and so our bodies will naturally be able to absorb and utilize it and not be overwhelmed, whereas supplements can be a little bit harder on our liver to process. It's rich in vitamins B1, B2, B3, and iron. And so iron is another thing that generally vegetarians kind of get a little bit less of in their diets naturally. That's just the way that it is. But with spirulina, you're getting a ton of iron. This says 5 grams in 1 teaspoon. If I'm making a spirulina smoothie or something, I'll maybe use up to 2 teaspoons. It just all depends on the day, which means that I'm already getting 60% of my recommended daily value of iron just through this. And again, it's easily digested and absorbed and utilized by the body. The body doesn't have to break down a meat source. And so it's a really good reason to switch over to a vegetarian diet for environmental reasons, of course. To create this future for our children and our grandchildren and our great-grandchildren. And so iron, proteins, all those vitamins that I mentioned before. What else? There's so many things to this. I wrote down some notes so I wouldn't forget. It's rich in antioxidants. It promotes or de-promotes inflammation, so it's an anti-inflammatory food. In 1 tablespoon, it provides about 20 to 25 calories or so that's very minimal for all of the nutrients that it provides. It helps to balance blood sugar, and it helps to detoxify heavy metals, especially arsenic, which is sometimes found in our drinking waters. So if you're exposed to any kind of heavy metals, which we all are today, I'm sorry, we all are exposed to heavy metals today. It just comes in the packages that we buy off the shelf, and the fish that we eat. I mean, of course, minimize your fish intake or eliminate completely so that you don't have those heavy metals in your systems. Get rid of amalgam fillings, and watch out for all of your body care products. Make sure that they're not really rich in heavy metals. But heavy metals are in so many little nooks and crannies of our homes and of, you know, the modern day living lifestyle, and spirulina will help to balance that out and minimize the heavy metal toxicity, or minimize the heavy metals in your body, and really help to detoxify and cleanse out those heavy metals so that they won't harm us, because they're really dangerous and they can lead to a lot of brain dysfunctions. So those are just a few of the reasons that spirulina is known as one of the most nutrient-dense foods on earth. It's the best. So let's see, a simple recipe is spirulina. So I said about a teaspoon to 2 teaspoons of spirulina. If you're just starting out, I would start out with about a half a teaspoon, because it can have some kinds of heavy metal toxicity, can lead to headaches, or any kind of detoxification can lead to headaches, or maybe even outbreaks in the skin. But so just start out slowly. I don't want anyone to get the feeling of fatigue, or that they're like rushing anything too much. I want you to feel healthy while you're nourishing your body. So start off with about a half a teaspoon, and then work your way up over the next week or 2 weeks up to a full teaspoon or 2 teaspoons in a day. If you forget a day, it doesn't matter. It's just consider it a regular food. Don't consider it a supplement that you have to take on a regular basis. For me personally, I try and remember to have it on a daily basis, but if I forget, I forget, or if I'm busy, that's fine too. I do travel pretty frequently, and so I'll just take a little bit of, I'll just take a small jar of this and put it in, like say I'm going to a smoothie shop, then I'll ask them to put a little bit of spirulina in there, because not all smoothie shops carry it yet, but they will. Okay, smoothie recipe. Spirulina, depending on how much dosage you want, up to 2 teaspoons probably. If you like the flavor and you really feel like you need the energy and the detoxification and the nutrient load, then you can do a little bit more, but just pay attention. Everyone is different. Let's say 1 to 2 large frozen bananas. I like the frozen because it brings makes the consistency of a smoothie a lot thicker. Of course, you can use fresh bananas. I even add a little bit of ice to my smoothies, because I like having that that chill and that thickness to my smoothies, especially when they're really green. Another thing that I'll often add to my smoothies is parsley. So between a few sprigs and a big handful of fresh parsley and or cilantro, and both of those are actually really good for heavy metal detoxification and providing a wide variety of nutrients. I'll usually just do about 10 ounces of water in my smoothie, and another fruit, let's say blueberries. Blueberries are a very simple, standard frozen fruit for adding to smoothies. We could do something citrusy, like a squeeze of an orange, and that really brings out the flavor of everything else, or even a squeeze of lemon or grapefruit or whatever kind of citrus that you have lying around. Or pineapple mixes really, really, really good with spirulina too, I believe. I think so, in my opinion, at least. What else? So that's an easy smoothie recipe. And another I'll link to it below in the notes so that you don't have to re-watch that little segment. Another recipe, I actually really enjoy a matcha green tea in the morning, and that's about a teaspoon of matcha powder, the highest quality green tea matcha powder that you can find, about a teaspoon of spirulina powder, and what else? Nut Mylk. I usually do about 4 ounces of nut milk and 4 ounces of hot water in my matcha, maybe a little dash of vanilla extract, pure 100% vanilla extract, and let's say a teaspoon or 2 teaspoons of honey, and that's my little pick-me-up in the morning. It's like a standard green tea in the morning, but a little zazzed up. So I hope you enjoyed that. Again, I'll link to that below. Another little fun secret recipe that I have for spirulina is just adding it to your salad dressing. So I like making a really simple homemade olive oil, balsamic vinegar, lemon, sea salt salad dressing, and I'll add spirulina to that as well. And it just is another way to consume it in my daily diet. I hope you enjoyed it. Share this with your friends and stay healthy.